Me, 27F, 3 months pregnant with my husband, 31M, of 8 years, he cheated on a business trip. Throw away because I'm humiliated. I often read this sub but never thought I would be posting here. My husband and I have been together 8 years, but only married mid last year. Everything was going great. He recently landed this amazing new job with a bigger salary and it requires regular overseas travel. We also started trying for a baby when we got married and I am now 12 weeks pregnant. He went for his first overseas work trip 3 weeks ago and just got home earlier this week. While he was away, nothing seemed suspicious. We FaceTimed every day and texted regularly. He was buying things for our baby over there and all was swell. I picked him up from the airport and we were chatting on the drive home and he mentions having breakfast on his last day with a friend he made and said she had him trying all these local foods. Something twigged. He had never mentioned this new female friend in any of our conversations while he was away, and the colleague he traveled with is male. What was he doing meeting a woman for breakfast? But I put it down to me being paranoid and ignored it. Today, I was at work and it just kept niggling at me. So, I did the wrong thing and logged into his email account and lo and behold, he had emailed at least a dozen explicit photos of this woman, selfies taken in her home, by the looks of it, to a secret email address he had created. So I hacked my way into that email too, and they have been emailing back and forth for a week, as recently as half an hour before I discovered the emails. I wish I took screenshots but at this point I had just lost my mind. I told work I was sick and had to go, and drove home to confront him. He denied it at first but broke down when presented with the evidence. He cried and apologized repeatedly. He said he met her one Saturday night when he was really silly, they flirted heavily and kissed. He swears up and down that they didn't have romance, and their emails seem to confirm this. I am sure they planned to see each other again though, as she mentions looking forward to March which is when his next trip is penciled in for. So, now what? He appears genuinely remorseful. He has an admitted problem with alcohol and has made an appointment with a therapist to start dealing with it. I am considering giving counseling a go before walking away. I would find this whole thing easier to try and forgive if it had ended that drunken night, but to carry on emailing each other for a week afterwards? This is his first trip for just 3 weeks and he has already cheated on me. But what do? I didn't plan on being a 27-year-old divorcee single mother. But I also don't want to live a life with someone I don't trust. I feel like my whole life is a ducking joke. Is there any recovering from this? At this point, I don't know what to do. I haven't told any family or friends because I feel so embarrassed that he has done this to me. While he was away I was singing his praises and sharing our baby news with people and looking forward to our future. And now he has just poop all over it. I have control of the email address they were using. Due to the large time difference she wouldn't have seen the email he sent, at my insistence, to cease contact. I am tempted to email her and get her side, assuming she would reply. Should I? She is married too, and knows about me. I hate them both right now. Sorry this is a jumbled mess of a post, I feel a complete mess. Edit, thank you all so much. I really didn't expect this to get so many replies. I have read them all and am thinking about everything you have said. I need to try and sleep now because it's late at night here and I have to work in the morning, but will be back soon to read any new replies. You have given me a lot to think about. This is definitely the most difficult day of my life so far. Too long, didn't read, husband cheated on me on a work trip. I'm pregnant and considering trying to work it through. Is there any—
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
He became remorseful after he got discovered, not after it happened. In fact, he kept at it, so it wasn't something to be attributed to heat of the moment either, not that it would be fine even then. You're right, and I think this is what hurts the most. It's torturing me to imagine what may have happened next time if I had not uncovered this now. He denied it at first and only broke down because you had evidence and there was no easy way out any longer. He planned on meeting that woman again. You are pregnant and he still made the decision to cheat. Then he made the decision to not tell you, set up a secret email address, keep in contact with that woman and plan to meet her again. That is an ongoing chain of ducked-up decision he made while being sober, so his problems with alcohol are only a factor in the first meeting/cheating with that woman. Honestly, I would consider taking a break, moving to your parents/friends for a while and get counseling to clear your head. And then decide if this is something you can forgive or if you would like to break up. I wouldn't be able to forgive that. You are pregnant and he still decides that this is what he wants to do and only gets remorseful after you caught him and presented evidence. Duck that. I'm pregnant too at the moment and I'm enraged on your behalf. Sorry this happened to you. I, 20M, am on vacation with my girlfriend, 20F, of 1.5 years and just learned that she cheated on me. Too long, didn't read. My girlfriend and I are on spring break vacation at my parents' house out of state. I just found out and have concrete proof that she had cheated on me with one of her friends a couple months back. I have no idea what to do. So I found out through the Messages app on my MacBook. I have been lending it to her since last semester because her laptop was peacefully deleted and I don't really use this one much. She got her user all set up with the Messages app that syncs with her iPhone, which is how I was able to read her texts. So story time, I guess. Let's call my girlfriend Anna and her friend Ben. Ben is a friend of Anna's from high school that I had never met before. Anna had talked to me earlier in November about having feelings for Ben and being confused about our relationship. She had told me that Ben had been coming on to her lately when they got together to hang out a couple times. So we mutually agreed to take a week-long break and get back together afterwards to talk about our relationship. This seems to go well because afterwards she apologizes and is super ready to go back to normal. She assures me that her and Ben are still just friends. Fast forward to January after winter break. I get back to school and our relationship seems to be doing better than ever. However, this changes when Anna and I get into a fight. I don't remember what caused it, but we got into a lot of little fights here and there, so it wasn't abnormal. This one was different than our usual ones and she goes berserk and tells me that she was the one coming on to Ben, not the other way around. I then get upset and ask how she could do such a thing. She of course changes her tone completely and plays the "it was stupid and I don't know what I was doing" cards, along with telling me that the only thing they did was kiss once. I believe her and forgive her after she promises multiple times that one kiss was the only thing they did. A kiss isn't that big of a deal, right? A month goes by and this whole time Anna is hanging out with Ben regularly. This isn't upsetting to me and I allow it because I trusted her and what she had told me. One day she tells me that Ben has been ignoring her and that he doesn't want to be friends with her anymore. By this point I have been blaming Ben for trying to lure my love away from me, and this news is kinda nice to hear. Anna tells me that Ben feels bad for having feelings for her still and that he wants to stop interacting with her entirely in order to not be tempted. So from this point onward Anna has not interacted with Ben at all. And we are honestly doing better than ever. We haven't fought about anything and I'm feeling really good about our relationship. So we decide to spend our spring break together out of state at my parents' home. So we're here at my parents' house. It's midnight and Anna has decided to go to bed. She's staying in the guest bedroom. I go downstairs to my room and I'm getting ready and notice that she's left my laptop on my bed. Naturally I go to play with it a little because, well, it's mine, and I haven't gotten to use it since I lent it to her back in August. When I open it she's already logged on and I get a little snoopy. The Messages app is already open and as I browse through the contacts she's been messaging I see a conversation with Ben at the very bottom of the list. There was always a tiny feeling in the back of my mind telling me that she was lying to me. I guess I believed her because I trusted her and also because I really couldn't imagine her cheating on me. This discovery changed everything. So this conversation is long. More than likely I have all of the texts that were sent back and forth between them from when they first started talking in November to when they stopped in February. The good news is that Anna was completely honest about Ben cutting himself off from her because he felt bad about getting in the way of our relationship. The bad news is that almost everything else she told me about them was a lie. As I am reading deeper and deeper into this, Going back through all the texts, I become absolutely sick. Over the course of the next 2 hours I read everything, every single text. Turns out that they had been romantic texting constantly, no pictures were saved in the app, but from the texts I can tell that they were sent and received. Not only that, but there are also texts talking about planning having romance, and also, bombshell, that they went through with those plans and had romance, multiple times. According to the messages, the first time they had romance was, guess when? Anna and I took that week-long break to reevaluate our relationship. I have proof of at least 2 other times that they had romance. One was over winter break and the other was right after I had left her room. I have no idea how many other times they had romance or when and where. I am a giant waterfall of emotions right now and I have no idea what to do. It is 4 AM and I don't think I can sleep. Like I said, I am out of state on vacation with her, we won't be back until Friday. I really need help. What do I do? I have no idea how to handle this situation. Edit. Wow, I woke up after a short sleep and have been reading through all of the comments and messages everyone has been sending me, and I am extremely grateful to hear all the advice that you guys/gals have sent. I took the advice about keeping the messages and copied and pasted the whole conversation, like 275 pages, into a Word document which I emailed to myself. I think the point that a few of you made about keeping it to remind myself is a great idea. Basically all but a few of you seem adamant about breaking it off right away, and I know you're not going to like it, but I don't think I can do that. It's really easy to say just tell her to get out, find her own way home, but to actually do it is a little different. I completely understand the reasoning behind it and I'm not saying I feel bad for her, I am totally going to dump her, easy decision. I just really think it will be hard to do right now, and I think it will be best and easier if I waited until we got back from the break. I think I am going to try and act normal for these next few days and try to make the best out of what's left. But when we get back to school I'll immediately end it right there. I am going to come back on here as frequently as I can to hear some reason, and so that I don't get pulled back into all her nonsense, and I'll make sure to read over the conversation I saved too. I'll probably do a follow-up later tonight or tomorrow and tell all you if I decide to change my mind. In the meantime I'll be looking for good ways to break up with her when it does happen. Also, a few of you were curious as to the specific situation I have here at my parents' house. Anna and I drove up 500 miles to get here. I didn't mention that my cousin, who also goes to the same college with us, came along too. The plan was for him to also come back down with us when we went back. So if I did decide to go back early, he would have to come too, which would be really poopy to do that to him. Also my parents are also here in the house and she is staying in a separate room from me. Again, thank you strangers so much for all the kind words and awesome support, it's really helping me cope with this poop storm. What do I do? Wake her up and tell her to get the duck out of your parents' house? No, really. That's it. You don't owe her poop. Just dump her right away. If you're thinking of wavering on this, just remember that he had to cut it off with her. If it were up to her it would still be going on. That's the saddest part. She's only going back to him because the other dude didn't want her.